Okay, we're getting ready now to make the key lime pie filling. We've just made a crust. It's a delicious crust. It lifts great from our pan, holds together well. The oil from the macadamia is going to grease the pan, so you don't even have to grease the pan or anything. It was so simple to make. But now we need to make the filling, so we can make a delicious key lime filling. It's actually quite easy to make, and I've assembled all the ingredients we need to make it right here. We need a cup of cashews that have been soaked. These have been soaking for 3 hours now. So we're going to drain those and use those. I have a cup of young Thai coconut meat, and I like this combination, but if you don't have access to the young Thai coconut, which is soft and creamy, then just double your cashews. Use 2 cups of cashews instead of 1 cup cashews and 1 cup coconut meat, and it'll work out just fine. Also, if you have little bits of brown on it, a little bit won't be bad, but if you have a lot, you can take a vegetable peeler and peel it off if it's really thick. This isn't, and it just comes off with your fingers. You can just scrape it off, and the tiny bit like this is going to be fine on it for this. If you're making a meringue where you really want it white and creamy, you have to be more careful to get it off, but it's such light brown, and yeah, that came off really easy this time. Sometimes you have to scrape a bit of the brown off, but this time it's easy to use. We have 2 avocados. They're nice and soft and just perfect right now. We have psyllium. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of psyllium. That's what's going to bind it together and make it so when you slice it, it's going to slice into slices. Like, it's going to make it firm and thicken it. Half a cup of agave. That's our sweetener. A teaspoon of vanilla, and then the most important thing is our limes. And that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to move everything else aside. I'm going to juice the limes. We're going to use the juice of 3 limes, and we want the zest. We want 1 tablespoon zest. And I'm also thinking ahead. I need to get 2 bowls. Thinking ahead, because when we have our crust and we have the key lime filling, and later I'm going to make a meringue topping, which is optional, you don't have to. But when we have those 3, I'm also going to want a little bit of lime peel just for the top, just totally decoration. So before I juice the limes, I'm going to get that ready right now. So first our lime zest, because we need that for the recipe. I have a little grater. A microplane is great, but this little grater will work just as well. I have a microplane at home. I forgot to bring it in, but that's okay. This will work. It's just a little bit more effort. And most people in the kitchens, or a lot of people, I don't know, maybe it was my generation, maybe it's a while ago, had the 4-sided grater, and the smaller grate would work fine for doing this. This is going to give a lot of flavor to your recipe, so make sure you get a full tablespoon. And this is where it's important to have organic also, because a lot of the toxins will be stored on the outside of it. So wash it well, and especially get organic. Organic's always a good idea, but especially if you're using the zest from the fruit. Okay, I think we're almost there. There. I'm just going to put my zest into one of the cups. It's never a good idea with your knife to wipe your knife on the board because it's going to dull the blade of your knife. But just sliding it sideways is not going to hurt it or dull it. That is a good tablespoon. That's just a tablespoon. Now I'm going to take a peeler. And I'm just going to peel off a bit of the peel of the lime. This is what I'm just getting. It's a ceramic blade, also like the knife that I use. And also takes very thin slices of the peel. So this is probably more than I need, but better to have more than not enough. And this is just going to be for the decoration on the top at the end. But I want to get it now before I juice it, just because it's easier to get it now. So I have the peels. I'm just going to put them all together. And with my knife, really finely, do really fine cuts through the whole thing. And it's just going to give us little tiny slivers. I'm going to cut these up a little bit too. Little tiny slivers that we can just put a few of them on the top of the meringue, just to kind of show that it's lime, and it also adds flavor, but not too much flavor. You won't really notice it on there flavor-wise. There, take the bigger pieces, press those, and then I'm just going to go through them diagonally a little bit. So we don't really want long pieces, just want a few little pieces. There, I'll just have a little sprinkle on top. If there's any that are too big, we have lots, so we can just toss those. And I will just put those into a bowl for decoration at the end. Okay, so now we're ready to make our key lime pie filling. I'm going to drain the cashews, drain and give them a quick rinse. There's a lot of controversy over cashews. Some people feel like they're not raw, and there's certain raw cashews. And these ones, sometimes I see little, they look like they're starting to sprout, so I'm not sure. These are organic, and it's still healthy, I'm not sure. But you could substitute and use all coconut meat too if you wanted. It would change the flavor a little bit. So if you were against cashews, but cashew works great with desserts. It's just a really good mild flavor that you can use and kind of cover with other flavors and use as a base for a lot of desserts. So it gets used quite a bit. And a cup of the young Thai coconut meat. Okay, so we're going to juice the limes. They have no seeds, so I'm going to do them directly into the container. And this is going to give some liquid right now to really help the coconuts and the coconut and the cashews to really blend down nice and smoothly, especially the cashews. And we're going to process for a few minutes. So now we're just going to add the rest of our ingredients. The avocados, I was getting a little impatient here. Add those. And luckily they have a beautiful green color also. but they also have this great oil in them. They're so good for you. Natural oils are so good. It helps dissolve all those bad oils that lots of us have in ourselves, especially if anybody's eating standard American diet, processed foods. Some not bad, some pretty bad stuff might be in there in your cells. And this stuff helps clean it out. Oh, also be careful. I just put this in without looking, but I noticed a little bit of a black spot on it. On the back of my avocado. I just want to cut that out. It looks so nice on the inside. I didn't think there was any. Okay. I have another avocado here just in case. The other ones were fine. Avocado is another great thing to rub into your skin and your body. It's so good for your skin. Natural oils, face mask. You could get fun in the kitchen making this one. Okay, 1 tablespoon of lime zest. I'm wondering how much I actually did here. And oh, I thought it might be more than a tablespoon, but it's just a tablespoon. That's fine. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of psyllium. It's going to really bind and hold it together. One teaspoon of vanilla. Or a quarter of a vanilla bean, scraping the seeds out of that would work also. It'd be really delicious because vanilla beans are very special to use the seeds. But use an extract. And 1/2 cup of agave. Okay. Now we're going to process everything together. Okay, this is exciting. This looks so creamy and delicious. I have to taste it first before I put it in, but I can just imagine. Avocado has practically no flavor on its own. When it's blended with other things, it's one of those foods that just takes on the other flavors, and so you won't really detect the avocado in it. And cashew can be like that. Coconut has a flavor, but it's going to lose the coconutty flavor with all the lime in there. It's really going to taste like a subtle creamy lime. Taste it. So it's really good. And I think the vanilla in there helps also, so it's very lime. It tastes like a real nice, fresh, sweet lime. Delicious flavor. And after it's in, it's going to firm up, so we'll put it in the fridge for an hour or 2 before we serve it. Just to let it stiffen up a little bit, so when we slice it, it'll come out into nice, smooth slices. So we're just pressing it out into the... Oh, it's so luscious. So delicious. I wish you could taste it. It's funny, key lime pie is one of those things I always think that I'm not crazy about until I eat it. And then I eat it and I go, wow, like that is just the most fresh, delicious, sweet taste. It's incredible. So it's just one of those things that you really should try making, because it's quite delicious. And it's one I think we sometimes forget about, or I do anyway. But it's going to look so beautiful after we make our meringue on top. It's fine if you wanted to serve it just like this, totally fine. You could sprinkle some of the lime zest we just made on top, cut it and serve it. But we're going to make a meringue.